One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you spread your wings and you take the sky. But till that morning, there's nothing can be. Yeah, with Daddy and Mommy standing by.
Hi, Chris Walker here with Big Angie Fan Channel, back with another Angelina Jordan vlog. You know, when I first was introduced to Angelina Jordan at the beginning of 2020 with Bohemian Rhapsody on America's Got Talent, one thing that was interesting about being introduced to her at that particular time was that it was the first time that you started to hear some negative things, even from some long-term fans of Angelina. It mostly had to do with her TikToks. There's a lot of people talking about how why is she putting on these blue contacts or using these filters to change her beautiful brown eyes? And there's some talk about her, doing all of this posing with her phone. And also, more seriously, and which I at least partially agreed with, there was some serious criticism of just what she was doing with her singing on TikTok. People were saying that they actually did not like some of her TikToks. These are people who are long-term fans of Angelina Jordan. And I tended to agree with that partly. I mean, some of her TikToks seem quite choppy to me, and sometimes she had like an over-exaggerated vocal fry or twang that didn't work for me. So I could see where people were coming from with that critique. So it partly reminded me of other female singers like Miley Cyrus or Christina Aguilera, who went through this period where they got a lot of criticism for some of the things they were doing. But that comparison doesn't really fit, because most of the complaints about them had to do with them being like overly sexualized, whereas Angelina Jordan has never really gone that route of, having this really sexy image. Not even close to going that route. She's turning into a beautiful woman, but she's not using sexuality. So it actually reminded me quite a bit more of another singer.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, and there is no one there to dry your tears, I will hold you for a million years.
And no, I don't mean her. I mean this guy, the original composer of this song.
I've known you from the moment.
And the comparison with him is a lot more apt, even though he's of course very, very different from Angelina Jordan in many ways. He's also a great artist like Angelina Jordan. And I think he went through this period of change where he was getting a lot of criticism from his longtime fans. He started out as this, in the folk tradition, doing folk songs, doing protest songs. And for the first few years of his career, he didn't veer very far from that formula. He started to write more personal songs, and definitely he was experimenting with lyrical content. That's always been Bob Dylan's greatest asset, of what a brilliant lyricist he is. But he was still, working with acoustic instruments. The big criticism came when he went electric and started to, dress more like a pop star. And basically the criticism was that he was selling out, going all commercial and selling out. And that reminds me a lot of the criticism of Angelina Jordan. She's trying to be too pop, and this TikTok, this is for people with short attention spans. And also, another criticism of her TikTok songs is she would choose a lot of songs from contemporary artists that these critics didn't like. So in that way, there's really a strong parallel between Dylan and Angelina Jordan. The criticism they got was for taking their music in a new direction that was perceived as more pop. Well, that's true, but I would say, what was the result of that, and why were they doing it? I don't think that Bob Dylan was doing it just because he wanted more commercial success. I mean, that maybe was part of it, just like Angelina partly, wants to be a superstar, although we're not sure what she means by being a superstar. But no, Bob Dylan, I think, was feeling constrained about what he could do artistically, staying within that acoustic, folky framework. And, look at the results. The albums that came out after he went electric, in addition to being, yes, they were commercially more successful than his earlier albums, but Bob Dylan's electric albums were also artistically very, very successful. A lot of critics, rank those as the very best of his albums. Bringing It All Back Home had some electric on it, and Highway 61 was entirely electric, and Blonde on Blonde, and those, especially those last two, are usually considered among his best albums. So my point is that he was looking to do more things artistically, to have more of a palette of things that he could use. And if he was more commercially successful, that's fine, but I don't think that was his main motive. And I think, the results were great. And now to this day, there are people who have never forgiven him for going electric. They still say that he sold out. But most people agree that he went up another notch artistically. So that's what I'm saying about Angelina Jordan. Might be some commercial calculation there, but I think mainly she just wants to expand her artistic horizons. And I think that artistically the results are going to be like we had with Dylan, that she's going to be better than ever. So the title of this video refers to a Dylan song when he was going through his transition phase, when he said, "I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now." You know, that he was, you know, rejuvenating himself artistically and breaking with the traditional forms in the same way that Angelina Jordan moved on from being primarily jazz and then had a kind of transition phase like Dylan of, you know, sampling more genres. And then the most recent one, which got the most criticism and which was the most commercial, was doing this TikTok stuff. And, you know, yes, like I said, I was, you know, I had some critiques of that too. In fact, at one point I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe she peaked at age 12. But we're already seeing the artistic fruits of this change. I mean, Mount Everest is an absolutely superb song, you know, her version of it, and that's a contemporary song. And many of her TikToks are just awesome. Like especially her latest Adele one. And yes, others are more experimental. But I say the best attitude to have towards these TikToks is, you know, when it sounds kind of choppy or she's doing weird things with her voice, you know, you have criticisms like that. Remember, it's kind of like a laboratory. Think of like Bob Dylan's basement tapes when he was doing these very rough, raw versions of songs that later on produced a lot of more polished masterpieces. Same thing has happened with Angelina Jordan. And often, like I said, often the TikTok is just in itself a wonderful gem. So let's conclude this video with a celebration of Angelina Jordan's TikToks. And stuff about the eye color and the posing for you know, cell phone camera selfies. You know, let's remember that she's a teenager after all, and that way she's very different from Bob Dylan. But the artistic side of it, I think it really echoes Bob Dylan a lot. And so I think we should look at her TikToks in that light. So here are some great Angelina Jordan TikToks to close this out.
Can I lay by your side next to you, so and make sure you're alright. I'll take care of you. Blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream of my heart, without a love of my own. Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak, and I seem to find the happiness I seek, and we're out together dancing cheek to cheek. You must think that I'm stupid, you must think that I'm a fool, you must think that I'm new to this, but I have seen this all before. is a man the world, but it wouldn't be nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl. You see, maybe the gods take us out of the world. Let's give this one a try, shall we? Okay. I don't say a word, but still you take my breath, and still the things I know. There you go, saving me from hot or the cold. Fire, fire, will normally kill us, but this much desire, together we witness. They say we're out of control, and some say we're sinners, but don't let our beautiful rhythms, 'cause when you unfold me and tell me you love me and look in my eye, when we get older, plainer, saner, will you remember all the danger we came from? Burning like embers, falling tender, longing for the days of no surrender years ago. And will you know? So smoke 'em if you got 'em, 'cause it's going down. All I ever wanted was you. I'll never get to heaven, 'cause I don't know how. Let's raise a glass or two to all the things I've lost.